guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some books that are coming out in October and November, so autumn of 2019. I've got I think sort of like 7 or 8 books on this list. I'm sort of filming this halfway through October, so some of these have already come out and some of these are coming out within the next few weeks. So let's jump in. So the first book that I want to talk to you about today is called The Butterfly Girl by Renee Denfield. And this is the second book in the series that she has written involving the detective Naomi Cottle. So the first book in that series is this one here. This is a proof edition copy of it. It's called The Childfinder, and The Childfinder follows like I said, a private detective called Naomi Cottle, a private investigator called Naomi Cottle, and her job is to find missing children. And so a family call her in to find their daughter in the first book. And then that follows that particular story, and then the second book, The Butterfly Girl, is going to continue that story. I knew when I read The Childfinder that Renee Denfield couldn't have been finished with this particular world. There were a lot of questions that were left unanswered about our private investigator Naomi Cottle's life. And it just left the door open for lots more books in this sort of vein. So I really loved the first book in this series, and I'm hoping that the second book is going to be just as good. And The Butterfly Girl comes out on the 3rd of October, so it's already out and you can go and grab your copy now. Another book that came out on the 3rd of October is The Body by Bill Bryson. So Bill Bryson is a non-fiction writer. He tends to write a lot of sort of travel memoirs, but he has written other things as well, and this is an example of something sort of outside of his travel writing. And the subtitle of this is A Guide for Occupants. So we've almost got like travelling around the body, like that kind of idea. And I'm just going to read you the first paragraph of the synopsis. We spend our whole lives in one body, and yet most of us have practically no idea how it works and what goes on inside it. In his brilliant best-selling A Short History of Nearly Everything, Bill Bryson set off to explore the universe and the science of everything in it. In The Body, he turns his gaze inwards to try to understand the extraordinary contraption that is us. As he guides us around the human body to discover how it functions, what can go wrong, and its remarkable ability to heal itself, what emerges is that we are infinitely more complex, wondrous, and mysterious than any of us might have suspected. So, I love Bill Bryson's writing. I've read quite a few of his travel books and the book that he wrote on Shakespeare, and he just has such a witty, easily readable style, and I'm sure that this book is going to be no exception to that, and that I'm going to learn lots and lots from it. So again, this came out on the 3rd of October. You can go and pick up your copy now. I have my copy already and I can't wait to read it. Another one that came out on the 3rd of October, and one that I also have a ARC copy of on my Kindle, is called Scars Like Wings by Erin Stewart. And I was really drawn to the cover of this one when I saw it on NetGalley, or when I received an email about it. And it was also described as like a YA version of Wonder by R.J. Palacio, which again really intrigued me. So again, a little bit of the synopsis of this one. 16-year-old Ava Lee is heading back to school 1 year after a house fire left her severely disfigured. She's used to the names, the stares, the discomfort, but there's one name she hates most of all: Survivor. What do you call someone who didn't mean to survive, who sometimes wishes she hadn't? When she meets a fellow survivor named Piper at therapy, Ava begins to feel like she's not facing the nightmare alone. Piper helps Ava reclaim the pieces of Ava before the fire, a normal girl who kissed boys and sang on stage. But Piper is fighting her own battle, and when Ava almost loses her best friend, she must decide if the new normal she's chasing has more to do with the girl in the mirror or the people by her side. And just the subject matter of this, I think, is going to be really powerful, and I was really drawn to the synopsis of this one. So a YA contemporary story, and one that I think is going to be difficult to read, but also is going to be a really powerful and important. A non-fiction book that I'm really excited that has just come out is 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas by Adam Kay. This is the follow-up to This Is Going to Hurt by him. I read this last year and reviewed it on my channel. I will leave a link to it up here, and I absolutely loved it. This was a collection of his diaries from when he was training to be a doctor, and it was both hilarious and really emotional to read. This particular one, 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas, is going to focus on some of his diary entries from sort of episodes around the Christmas period. We, you know, are all really grateful to our NHS staff in the UK who often have to work right through the Christmas period, including on Christmas Day and New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. And you know, they have to make they have to make those sacrifices and not be with their family and things like that. And so Adam Kay is going to give us a little bit more of an insight into what it's like to work for the NHS during this particular period of the year. And I'm expecting it to be just as funny and just as emotional as his original book, and I can't wait to pick it up. And then the final one coming out on the 3rd of October is The Fountains of Silence by Rita Sepetys. I of course pre-ordered myself a copy of this because I love Rita Sepetys' writing. This is her 4th novel. It's another historical fiction novel, although I'm unsure at the moment whether it's going to fall under the YA or adult category. And it's set in 1957 in Madrid. And like some of her other novels, it follows a few different characters. We're getting different characters' perspectives, and I'm about 100 pages into this so far. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to continue on and it's going to be just as good as her other ones. And like I said, 3rd of October, so this is already out. The final one that I have to talk about that's coming out in October is called Between the Stops, and this is Sandy Toksvig's long-awaited memoir. And again, I was lucky enough to be sent an early copy of this through NetGalley and the publisher, so thank you very much for them to sending this to me. Sandy Toksvig is a sort of British personality. She does a lot of presenting. She's currently sort of co-hosting on the Great British Bake Off, and she's absolutely hilarious and also very intelligent. She's also a writer as well, so I read Hitler's Canary from her, and that's about, I think, is it World War II, I think, and sort of like Denmark's not role, but like what was happening in Denmark in World War II. Really interesting. So like I said, this is her memoir, and it says Between the Stops is a sort of memoir, my sorts. This is a quote from her. It's about a bus trip really, because it's my view from the number 12 bus, mostly top sec, the seat at the front on the right. A double-decker that plies its way from Dulwich in southeast London, where I was living, to where I sometimes work at the BBC in the heart of the capital. It's not a sensible way to write a memoir at all, probably, but it's the way things pop into your head as you travel, so it's my way. From London facts, including where to find the blue plaque for Una Marson, to discovering the best Spanish coffee under Southwark's railway arches. From a brief history of lady gangsters at Elephant and Castle to memories of climbing Mount Sinai, and lots more things like that. This Sandy Toksvig style memoir is, as one would expect and hope, packed full of surprises. So I'm just expecting it to be really funny and interesting, and for there to be lots of different things in there for me to kind of get my teeth into, basically. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Again, this is coming out on the 31st of October. The first book that I want to talk about that's coming out in November is called The Starless Sea, and this is by Erin Morgenstern. This is Erin Morgenstern's long-awaited next novel. She of course wrote The Night Circus, which I read a couple of years ago and absolutely loved. And this is her follow-up novel. It's from the synopsis, it sounds quite different to The Night Circus, but yeah, it still sounds really interesting, and I'm definitely going to be pre-ordering myself a copy of this. So a little bit from the synopsis. When Zachary Rawlins stumbles across a strange book hidden in his university library, it leads him on a quest unlike any other. Its pages entrance him with their tales of lovelorn prisoners, lost cities and nameless acolytes, but they also contain something impossible, a recollection from his own childhood. Determined to solve the puzzle of the book, Zachary follows the clues he finds on the cover: a bee, a key and a sword. They guide him to a masquerade ball, a dangerous secret club, and finally through a magical doorway created by the fierce and mysterious Mirabelle. The door leads to a subterranean labyrinth filled with stories hidden far beneath the surface of the earth. And of course it's going to be about his adventure. So I really found Erin Morgenstern's writing in The Night Circus really descriptive, really beautiful, and she wove such an amazing story together that I'm really looking forward to this coming out on the 5th of November. Okay, and then the last book that I want to talk about on this list is called Every Last Drop, and this is by Sarah Robinson, and this is coming out on the 12th of November. And this is sort of like a contemporary women's fiction novel that I think is going to be really, really hard-hitting. So the synopsis for this one is: marry the love of my life, become a mother, write a book. Number 1 was complete. I was well on my way to checking off goals 2 and 3 before a cancer diagnosis derailed my plans. A story meant to chronicle the journey of impending motherhood with wit became a brutally honest memoir of living life to the fullest. Make every breath count. When finally confronted with the knowledge that the cancer is terminal, I searched for a way to accomplish all the things I wanted to do within my lifetime when I don't have a lifetime left. So this is a memoir and I just know that it's going to make me cry, but it just sounds so poignant, and this is the type of non-fiction that I really enjoy reading. Not going to find it enjoyable probably as such, but really interesting, thought-provoking, emotional, that kind of thing. So the last one on this list, and a really important one in my opinion. So there you go guys, they are all of the books that are coming out in October and November, so autumn of 2019, that I wanted to talk to you about today. I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments below. Are you excited about any of the ones that I mentioned? Have you put them on your TBR now? Are there any that I haven't mentioned that you are really excited to come out? Obviously there's lots of books that I haven't mentioned, endless streams of them. But yeah, I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments down below. The sun's just gone behind a cloud, so the lighting's gone weird. Yeah, so thanks very much guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.